Hey guys, it's Ashley, and I'm back with another video. As always, I'm here with some divine guidance and divine support, and just to talk about different things that goes on in our lives, and I'm happy to do it. So, in this video, I wanted to talk about a dream that I had, and this dream was actually about milk. A lot of times, God will give me a dream and I'll wake up from it and I'll be like, you know, what the hell was that? But as I sit and like write it down and try to interpret it, kind of think about it throughout the day, I'll really be able to formulate a message. And usually once I formulate the message, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But um yeah, I was dreaming about milk. And, milk really signifies purity, it signifies generosity, it signifies abundance. And it just really encompasses a lot of just really positive energy, positive things that happens in our lives. And so in this dream, I was actually just knelt down inside of a cupboard and I was like searching. And so I was coming across all these containers of milk, but they were like tainted milk. It was milk that was different colors, milk that was spoiled, dirty milk. And as I'm searching, I look behind me and there's a group of people standing there. And their milk is actually white, it is consumable. And, as they're standing there, it was such a judging energy. It was such a negative energy that was just looming over me as I'm searching. And, it gave me the energy of, a lot of criticizing and things like that. So, what I have really gotten out of it is the fact that a lot of people in our lives have watched us struggle. A lot of people in our lives have watched us go through things, watched us, you know, come into contact with many, many obstacles. And there are a lot of people who were okay with watching us struggle. And I'm talking about family, I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about even people that we are in a relationship with that were willing and okay with seeing us struggle. And the reason for that is because a lot of times when you carry God's light, a lot of times when you carry a lot of abundance and greatness, people see that before you do. So there may have been a time in your life where you didn't see your abundance, you didn't see your greatness, you didn't realize that God really favored you and that you walked around with God's light. And so when these people realize that you were at a point in your life where you were directionless, where you were struggling, where you were still trying to find yourself, they were okay with that because it meant that they were able to criticize you, talk about you, gossip, and look down on you. And I'm not saying that, you didn't have goals and you didn't have dreams, but there are times in our lives, let's be real, when we don't know what's going on, where we don't understand ourselves, where we are really struggling within ourselves to find out who we are. And so when people realize that you were in that season of your life, they talked about you. Not only did they talk about you, but they had the means to help you and they purposely decided not to. And when you look at the dream that I'm talking about, where the people they have white milk that's consumable. And so these people that are watching you struggle and search and look, they have the milk. They have the pure milk. They have the white consumable milk, but they refuse to help you. They refuse to give it to you. There was no one in that dream that put a hand on my shoulder to say, hey, take some of this. There was no one in that dream that even stuck a hand out to help. They purposely choose to not assist you in your struggling seasons because they don't want you to get back up. They like the fact, like I said, that they can sit there and talk amongst themselves about you. They want to be able to gossip about you. They want to be able to criticize you. They want to be able to point a finger at you and say, look at her, look at him. They have nothing going on. They're not doing anything with their life. Wow, they're really struggling. I can't believe they're struggling like that. If that was me, I wouldn't be struggling. These are the type of people that were in this dream. The energy in that dream, it just gave off just judging and criticism. Don't think that people don't know or recognize your greatness, that people don't realize who you are, because they do. And that's exactly why they choose to not help you. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people in my life, they had the key to really helping me along. And instead of doing that, they sat around and talked about me. They sat around and gossiped. They sat around and judged me. So, like I said, a lot of times, these people think that them not helping you and them not giving you a hand, they think they're hurting you. They think that they are really damaging you. In fact, they hope that they are hurting you. They hope that they're damaging you. They hope that you don't come out of whatever you're struggling with. But these people don't realize God was going to bring you out of it anyway. God was not going to watch you struggle. God already knew that He favored you. God knew this. But you see, God lets people show their true colors. God really wants to know people's heart. And these people didn't realize that at the time that you were struggling and they chose to take the route of gossiping and judging you, that God was actually judging them. Because in the end, God wanted to see what they were all about. And they showed what they were about. So, I just look back on my life, and I want you guys to look back on your life and just realize that a lot of times when people purposely were trying to keep things from you, keep knowledge from you, keep things from you that they knew would push you forward into the stars, just know that in the end, that was a test for them. And as God was leading you through the obstacles and the struggles and things like that, you actually never needed these people. But you don't realize it at the time. God does favor family and community and really uplifting each other and things like that. But that doesn't always happen in our lives. We can't pick who our family are. We can't, we pick who our friends are, but sometimes you don't realize that they're not your friend until later. You don't realize that the person you chose to love really, didn't have your best interest. So, but like I said, we should be able to go to these people, but in the end, and I can really testify to it, that I never needed these people, even when I thought I did. God has really led me through a lot. A lot of the times in my life, it was me and God. That's who I walked through life with. From the time I was born until now, that's who held my hand through life. That's who guided me through all my obstacles. That's who gave me the clarity. That's who gave me the answers. So I really want you guys to realize that when you don't have people around, it's not always a bad thing. When you don't have people to lean on, it hurts, but sometimes it's actually for your own good. Sometimes it's better to walk alone and walk with God. And I've had points in my life where I was like, I felt alone, that I was walking alone, but now I realize I had my spirit guides. I had my ancestors backing me up. God, first and foremost, was always there backing me up. And so I just want you guys to take away the fact that even though you've had bad experiences with people in your life that just, like I said, because you were such a light that people just did not want to see you be bright. I really just want you guys to realize that God was always with you. God will always be with you. And really just know that even if no one's walking with you, God is, and you're never alone. So, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the message. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.